Hey guys, it's me, and it looks like also Sugar's gonna be guest starring this morning. Uh, so I should probably center myself a little bit more. Okay, so this is probably gonna be the last video I film from this red couch because we're moving in December, but we're moving our stuff this weekend, and um, my mom hates this couch, so she wants to get a new couch, so we're getting rid of this one. So this is probably going to be the last video I film from this here couch. Um, and so I thought long and hard about what I wanted to film today, and I thought it would be interesting to take you guys on kind of a journey through how my hair got to be the way it is today. That sounds really random, but my hair actually has a very long, interesting history of different lengths, colors. I say colors, like the colors the ends have been, stuff like that. But I just thought it'd be an interesting thing to do, so I'm just gonna have like some pictures and I'm gonna narrate that and then probably film like an outro to this. So let's get started. So my mom, her dream was to have very long hair, and her parents wouldn't let her achieve that dream, so she decided to live that dream through me. I was never allowed to cut my hair, so it looked fairly normal as I was growing up, but as you can see, it's getting longer, and by the time that I was in kindergarten, my hair looked something like this. Well, I guess it still looks pretty normal there, but you can see it's getting pretty long. Okay, that picture's kind of far away, but the next one's better. Yeah, you can see it's pretty out there. Like my mom would let me trim it occasionally, so it wasn't like floor length, but uh, and as you can see, there was quite a lot of my hair, and this is about this age my parents stopped brushing my hair for me, which means my hair pretty much didn't get brushed because I wasn't going to deal with all that. Like, look at how much hair I had. Would you want to deal with all that hair? And occasionally I wore it in like a ponytail or these horrifying pigtails, and my mom loved to braid my hair, but I think around third grade I stopped letting her braid my hair because I didn't like my hair to be braided. And for my 8th birthday, my mom let me get a hair trim in a professional salon. By trim, I mean they cut more than 3 inches and she freaked out. But that was the finished product right there. So that was barely a difference. But she let me get it trimmed professionally, so she called it a haircut. It was 3 inches. And it just sort of grew out from there. And you can see the ends are pretty dead, like the longer it gets. I guess you can't really see them in this picture. But yeah, the more my hair grew, the deader the ends would get. And she would let me trim it occasionally to like keep it at a somewhat reasonable length. And then there was that day in 5th grade where I decided to cut my own bangs. Not pretty. I cut them from wisps of hair during art vistas with classroom scissors, and it took basically until the end of 6th grade to grow out to a somewhat normal length where they were not like where you couldn't see them basically. Like see they're in my face there, but in this next picture they're not. Like I could put them behind my ears at least. And then right before 7th grade started, a miracle happened. My mom let me cut 8 inches off my hair. So it was finally a normal length. And then I loved brushing my hair. I loved wearing it down. I would wear it down and brush it like I loved brushing my hair. I seriously loved brushing my hair. I'd always wear it down until like the middle of 7th grade when I decided to wear it in a side ponytail. And I kid you not, I would wear my hair. I had like 3 different fuzzy ponytail holders, and I would wear my hair in a side ponytail every day, almost every day, for 7th and 8th grade, with a few exceptions. Like, I used to always wear a hairband in it in elementary school, and then in 4th grade I stopped wearing a hairband. Well, this was the new hairband. my side ponytail. I would almost always wear it like this. Like, there were very few days in 8th grade where I did not wear my hair in a side ponytail. And mostly because I liked having my hair in front of me where I could see it and deal with it. Like, I didn't like having it behind me because then I couldn't see what it was doing and it was getting tangled and stuff. But then I cut my hair right before freshman year started to shoulder length because my grandmother always wanted me to cut my hair to shoulder length. She died about a week before my 8th grade graduation, and this was like my gift to her, I suppose. It was finally cutting my hair shoulder length the way she always wanted it. So at first I actually really liked it shoulder length, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. I don't ever have to do anything with it. Brushing and washing it is so easy. It dries quickly, and like I can wear it down. I don't like I would put it in a ponytail sometimes for gym class, but it would always fall out like right away, and I just loved wearing my hair down. But eventually, like I missed my side ponytail, and I was like, I want to wear my hair in a side ponytail again, but I can't do that because my hair is very short. And so I wanted to grow it out, but my hair took a very long time to grow. Like, it's a little bit longer in this picture you see. This was about 6 months after I cut it, maybe a little less than 6 months. And, oh, these are out of order. That picture should have been first. Whatever. And then towards the end of freshman year, it got to a length where I could put it in a ponytail again, and I don't have any pictures of that because they all suck. But then sophomore year, and I cut my bangs right before sophomore year started. I have been told by 3 hairstylists that I should never cut my bangs, but that did not stop me. As you could see in 5th grade, I wanted bangs. Well, I actually had legit bangs cut before my sophomore year, and it took about 3 days for me to hate them. And as they grew out, my friend would like try to help me figure out ways to get them out of my face, but because they were just always in my face and I did not want them there, I wanted them out of my face as they grew out, but I didn't want to cut them again. So I started wearing a lot of ponytails. Yeah, and I wasn't very good at ponytails. So occasionally I could wear my hair down and get it so that the bangs looked okay. This is not the best example because that is a horrible picture of me. But I almost always wore it in a ponytail, and I would like use barrettes to pin my bangs back, and it just looked horrible. I don't understand how I ever thought that looked good. And it was just always like that. But there wasn't much else I could do because I hated my bangs. And then eventually at theater camp, my bangs had finally grown out enough to like put them in part of the ponytail, which I was actually required to do for one of the shows at theater camp. They're like, you can't do that thing that you do every day. You have to put it like this. And so I started wearing it like that. I don't think it's like that in this picture. Like, this is a photo shoot I did with my friend that I can't remember. Did I use barrettes? And no, I think it's all in the ponytail in this picture. But I started wearing my hair like that every day. And this is just a really random photo shoot. We don't need to talk about that. But I didn't actually realize that my hair had grown out to the length that I wanted it to be. And then I decided to dye the ends purple for Spirit Week because the junior class color is purple as well as my favorite color. And I also cut it a little bit shorter because like my bangs were growing out, and I just like I wanted my bangs to be somewhat close to the length of the rest of my hair, but I still put it in ponytails. Because I didn't realize how much it had grown out. And then I cut it at the beginning of January 2012, and because my bangs were finally the same length as the rest of my hair when I did that, and I was like, okay, never cutting my bangs again. So I had it like this, and it grew out a little bit. I didn't wear it in a ponytail. I could just like finally wear my hair down, not worry about the bangs, not worry about pinning anything back. And of course the purple kind of got cut out, and I just didn't re-dye it after that. Because like I didn't realize that it was the length I wanted it to be, and if I would just leave my bangs alone. But anyways, I was pretty happy with it at this length. And then after my baptism, I realized that it would fit in a ponytail again, so I started wearing more ponytails. I didn't wear a ponytail every day because like there were some days that I just couldn't get it in a ponytail, but it was growing out, and when I went to Australia, I wore it down because I just could not get it in a ponytail to save my life when I was there for some reason. I don't know, maybe my hair just doesn't like to be in a ponytail on other continents, but whatever. So I wore it down there, and it doesn't really look like it's grown out much, but it had growing out a little bit because obviously I could put it in a ponytail. But yeah, and I just wasn't really happy with the way it looked when it was down, even though it looks fine, I think, now. But so I started wearing it when I got back to America. I started wearing it in ponytails a lot more. So that was the beginning of senior year. And I just kept wearing it in ponytails. And then my best friend at the time had dyed her hair red, and I thought it looked really cool, but I didn't want to dye my whole hair like that, so I just did the ends, and you can kind of see it in that picture. Um, and I let that wash out naturally. And then I got my hair layered in December because when my crush asked me on our first date, my friends were like, "Oh, you should do something with your hair. You should cut your bangs." And I was like, "Heck no, I ain't cutting my bangs." And so they suggested layers. And I thought, layers seem pretty doable, so I'll try layers. And these are like the pictures where you could see them the most, as sad as that is. So, yeah, and that was me right before I left for our first date. So, yeah, you can barely see it, but I got layers, and I was really happy with the layers for a while, even though you can barely tell that they're there. And I started wearing my hair down more after that, or like I think it was October my senior year that I started wearing my hair down more. I don't remember exactly why, but I just finally accepted that my hair looked fine when it was down, and I didn't really care about my part that much. I was like, oh, my part will just go wherever it wants to go. So that's why my part looks really messed up in a lot of these. It wasn't until like the middle of my senior year I finally started caring about that. So that was for Spirit Day. Um, yeah, so you can kind of see the layers there, and in the next picture, um, this one, you can kind of see the layers. And I just let it grow out from there. And my part is really bugging me now, like all these pictures of my part when it's messed up. And then I got it trimmed a little bit for prom. And I curled my hair, but I didn't put any pictures of that. But I got it trimmed a little bit. And then for the last week of senior year, I wore this stupid blue hair extension in my hair because blue was the school color and the senior color, and I just wanted to be festive. I'm not wearing it there. That was seminary graduation. But I just put that because you could kind of see the layers a little bit. But you can kind of see it there. It's like hidden, the blue extension, I mean. And then at theater camp that summer, one of the girls curled my hair, and I just fell in love with the way it looked when it was curled with the curling wand. And I just could not get over how awesome my hair looked. And then I pinned it back with barrettes because I had to pin it back to be on stage, and I just really liked the way that looked. So, and then like the next day curls, that was my thing. Next day curls, I loved the way they like just weren't as tight, but they were still there. That was a snapshot I sent my friend. And then so I started doing my hair like that sometimes. These ones were made with an InStyler because I only had an InStyler at home, so they're not that good. And then like I still used the barrettes to pin it back. But I was just obsessed with having my hair curled because I just loved the way it looked like that, and the barrettes too. And although in retrospect it looked better without the barrettes. And then I got my hair relayered a little bit before like the end of the summer. So I got it relayered, and it looks black in some of these pictures, but I promise you it's not black yet. The ends, I mean. So it was a little bit shorter, and then I dyed the ends both red and purple and put like a random purple streak in the middle of my hair. Like you can only see it in really good lighting. So like these you can kind of see it, but then I went to my friend's mission farewell and we took a picture, and you can see it best in this picture, as sad as that is. And then like I would alternate between days, like on special occasions I would curl my hair, and that was Halloween. That's why I'm wearing a tiara. I'm just not in a costume yet in that picture. And then I would wear it down some days because I just kind of liked the way it looked in my face. I didn't like putting it behind my ears. I liked it in my face. And I curled it for Christmas, you can see. And then when I went back to school, I started wearing it in a ponytail more, but I was still trying to grow it out because like I just wanted it to be long again. So as you can see, I wore it down sometimes in a ponytail sometimes. That is not the same day. I'm just wearing the same outfit. And then like in these pictures, it's like finally like it's barely fitting in a selfie. It's just getting to the length I want. And then I decided to do something about the layers. And I was like, well, I just want to even out my whole hair. The top layer's grown out a lot. Mom, why don't you just cut some of my hair off? And I was not happy with the results. I realized I was trying to grow my hair out. Why did I cut it? And it just like did not look right after that. Like I just was not as happy with it. Like it grew out and I was a little more happy with it, but it was just so short and it was getting so long. And then the day before, my friends all went to prom, but I was too old, so I didn't go. I got highlights in it. They were the touch-on highlights, and you could barely see them. Don't ask me why I'm holding bleach. That's at the temple. Like I said, you can only really see it in decent lighting, and that's not decent lighting. So, and then, okay, we're gonna talk about why I dyed my hair black, why I dyed the ends of my hair black, and I have a lot of pictures of my black hair to help us get through this. So when I had like this falling out with this girl I used to be really close with, and I was just like feeling really down, and my friend was just like, well, why don't we do something crazy to your hair? And I was like, okay, fine. I was like, I wanted to get my mind off of things. So I went to Walmart, and she was like, what color do you want to do? I'm like, I don't care. Literally any color but red is fine. And we went home with black hair dye, and I actually really like the ends of my hair black. It's like the best thing I've ever done to my hair. Like, I cannot stress enough how much I love the ends of my hair black. And then occasionally in really good lighting, you could see like all the different colors in my hair. These are Snapchats, that's why I look like I'm making weird faces in them. But occasionally you can get a picture with really good lighting, and it just shows you all the different colors of my hair. And then I started parting it to the side, and I just really like it parted to the side. So I'm just gonna keep going with this. And I need to re-dye the ends, but I keep trying to train it to just. Sometimes my part gets messed up, but I just want it to be on the side. And oops, that is the wrong picture. I did not mean for that one. Just ignore this one. But yeah, so that is how my hair came to be the way it is. So like I said, I need to re-dye the ends black, and I'm like still kind of training the part, so sometimes it's messed up, sometimes it's not, and then I have to like put it like that. But I just like my hair changes so much. Like, I don't know, but I think I finally found something that I want to stick with. So that is just the story of all the different adventures my hair has had. And I call the black dye sort of a rejection impulse, because like the whole thing with my ex-best friend. But I know like most rejection impulse haircuts, hair dyes are horrible, but I just really love mine. I think the black just really completes my hair. So that is like the one good thing that came out of that. And yeah, so if you're ever like just thinking of like a random color to dye your hair, go with black. I think that is my advice. And then the side part I'm really loving. So that, again, that is the story of my hair. I'm trying to think of the right way to end this video. Say goodbye to the red couch. Oh, my phone's charging now. I did not realize it was in the shot. Say goodbye to the red couch. We've had a lot of good memories. I think the red couch is actually in some of these pictures. But yes. So the moral of the story is, don't cut your bangs if your hairstylist has told you not to. Don't cut your bangs by yourself. If you're trying to grow your hair out, don't say YOLO, mom, chop the whole thing off. And yes. So experiment with fun colors for your ends. Like, test out a few until you find one you like. Because if you just do the ends, it's really easy to just snip. Only I did mine pretty high, so you can't really do that. And my hair is growing out again. I'm using like a leave-in conditioner that's supposed to make it grow faster. I'm not sure if it's working. But that is the story of my hair. I hope you're having a great day. I will hopefully be making another video soon, just not from this couch. So I will see you guys later, and have a great day.